Hey, good afternoon. How y'all doing? It is Red Beard, and it is a damn fine day to talk about a book. We are here for a book review, and today we're going to talk about Dark Lines by Jack Harding, and this is from Darklit Press. First, we have to talk about the format of this book. We don't often talk about the format of books here, but this mass market paperback sized book, I just found it refreshing. There are not very many small presses out there that are putting out these small handleable, is that a word? It's not a word, but portable, these small books like this. It's a fairly long book. It's like 476 pages, but check out this font. I often have talked about my ailing old man eyes, and this was very, good in that particular aspect. So it made it a complete page turner. Now, this is a short story collection. I have done shorts on shorts for all of these stories, and at the end of this, we'll pull it together into a playlist so you can see them all. It opens up with a quote from Ray Bradbury, very cool. If we try to deny the darkness in our souls, then we'll become completely dark. So, I'll read you the synopsis, see what you think. From the author of Ripper Country, which I have. I just got Ripper Country in the mail like 2 days ago, and I'll be reading it within the next month. But from the author of Ripper Country comes 16 tales of psychological horror, each more frightening than the last. Venture into a dark and brooding world of twists and turns where things are rarely as they seem and terror reigns supreme. A mother is haunted by an apocalyptic vision. A husband banished to the couch is awoken by a bump in the night. A vampire catches up with an old friend. A brooding man-child suffers some unpleasant side effects from a new medication. An office worker's routine commute home turns out to be anything but. Let Jack Harding take you on a perilous journey into the nightmare-inducing landscape he has crafted for your enjoyment. Dark Lines, Haunting Tales of Horror is a versatile and gut-wrenching collection that will stir your senses and stay with you long after you've turned the last page. This is a good collection. I enjoyed it. I'm probably somewhere around 3.5 to 4 stars. The stories that I liked in here are really, really light. Some of them, some of the shorter stories, some of the more, first I'll tell you about the subject in here, but some of the, the spider horror, the toilet snake horror, some of that stuff, didn't necessarily do it for me, but overall it was still a really good collection. So there's some real life human horror stuff in here. As it said, there's an apocalyptic like dream world horror scenario. There is some medical horror, some, like I said, spider arachnid horror, some ghosts, some vampires. I don't know why I had trouble with that word. Some prison horror, some toxic masculinity horror. Like I said, some toilet snake horror. There's all kinds of shit in here. And there's a lot of little bitty nods to Bruce Springsteen, my favorite musician. So I won't go too much into that, but I did enjoy that. I mentioned it in one of the shorts on shorts, but there's a line in Growing Up, stood stone like at midnight, suspended in my masquerade, or something like that. I probably screwed that up, which some fan I am, right? But anyway, there are like multiple places in here where a character stands stone like. And I just like the first time I read it, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," but that's an odd. But there's like at least 3, I think, that I caught where a particular character stands stone-like, and I like that. And then there's a story at the end that really gives you a lot of Bruce Springsteen stuff, and I'll talk about that one in my top 4 here in a second. But I really enjoyed it. Jack does this thing where he, tells you a story for 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages, whatever it is, and then rips the rug out from under you. It really makes you have to rethink everything. For example, there is one story in here called Roxy. It's not in my top 4, but I'm going to talk about it briefly, where like you spend the whole time thinking this is a beaten, battered woman held in captivity. And on some levels it is, but it's a completely different thing than what you think. It's a different scenario than what you think. And like, he did it to me a bunch of times. Like, I don't know if every story does that, but a lot of the stories, I would say 65-70% of the stories do that to you. They have you thinking one thing, or just reading, just, riding with the pages, reading the horror story, and then it's completely something different than what you thought you were reading. So, kind of the Sixth Sense vibe, right? Where you find out at the very end that he's dead. I see dead people. Anyway, so my top 4 stories in the book. Let's get into it. Again, there are shorts on shorts up for all of these. Check them out. Check out the playlist. I don't know how long Jack's been at this. I do not, but very, very and definitely new to me author, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I'm looking forward to Ripper Country. Also, before I forget, Darklit Press is killing it. I've read a bunch of their books here recently. Those beach anthologies. I read Beach Bodies, but there's one called Slice of Paradise. Those are vacation horror anthologies. I really enjoyed Beach Bodies. Really enjoyed Brendan LaFaro's Noose. I just read and reviewed that one this week. But Caitlin Marceau's, I'm going to draw a blank on the title. It's a long title. I think it's called This Is Where We Talk Things Out. So far, that's been my favorite. That is a 5-star novella for me. So check that one out, but check out some of the other Darklit press titles that they have out. So, number 4 on the list, Driving in the Dark. It is the Bruce Springsteen story. Our main character is driving home. He has a long commute. It's a long commute. And he's decided to drive this far every day because of the girlfriend, the woman at home. He's going to propose to her, but the woman at home, he moved in with her, and so he is willing to stomach this drive every single day because of that. One thing gets him through, other than knowing that he's going home to her. One thing gets him through, and that's Bruce Springsteen. He's got a Bruce Springsteen playlist, and so we're traveling home from the city, from the traffic, to the suburbs, to this place that is an hour and a half, whatever it is, away from where he works, and we're going through this playlist, as we driving down the road, driving in the dark, kind of like Dancing in the Dark, but we're going through this playlist, and we're touching on all these different songs, all the hits, the stuff I love, but again, he jerks the rug out from under you, and this one I kind of got the idea of where it was going, I think, before I was supposed to, but it was still cool, and the payoff still was something special. So Driving in the Dark is my number 4 story in the book. My number 3 story in the book is The Vagabond, and this is the vampire story, and I'm not normally a huge vampire fan, but in this one, a lady brings a vagabond home to have dinner with her family. Now, this never turns out well, does it? I mean, and there's some point in here that you realize that this is a little kid, but you didn't initially. Like, initially, I didn't think that this vagabond was a kid. I thought it was, some, bearded, ugly dude. I don't know why I would have thought that, but anyway, but it's a kid, and so she brings him home and feed the kid, and it's mother, father, and they've got a son of their own, and they invite this kid home for dinner, and that's as far as I'm going to go. But it does ultimately go to this place of revenge and retribution, and that part was cool. My number 2 story in the book is Silent Treatment, and this is the one where the husband is banished to the couch. He is stuck on the couch, man. He's in trouble. He's done something and got himself in trouble. And he hears his wife crying, and he goes up and tries to console her. I mean, he wants to work his way back into her good graces. And it's a freaky story. There's something in the house that is scaring the absolute shit out of his wife. She's not concerned with the fact that he's on the couch. She's not concerned with wanting him to come back and share her bed. She's concerned with this thing that's scaring the shit out of her. And this is another one of those twisty ones that kind of rips the rug out from under you. My number one story in the book, it's the longest story in the book. It's called The Devil's Mountain. And, this one has stuck with me. Like I read this story probably two and a half weeks ago. And when I read it, I remember saying that, I liked it, but I wasn't absolutely crazy about the ending. But now, like I said, 2.5, 3 weeks later, looking back, it has stuck with me more than the others. Again, it's the longest story in the book, but a young man and his girlfriend, they're going to this creepy, off the beaten path attraction, this abandoned German military installation that, then after World War II, the U.S. put like a missile tracking station there, but it's just this modern ruins, right? This modern brutalist structure, and with graffiti and these. There's this part where you're going through these. Imagine this big concrete box of a room with columns all the way down through it with graffiti art all over it, and you're going through this thing with flashlights, and it's creepy. Like it wasn't like really any like jump scares, but just the atmosphere of that story really did pull me in and really did stick with me. And there's good dialogue in that story. There's a lot of back and forth between the main character and the girlfriend. He's enamored with her. He's punching, I think the story said he's punching 3 weight classes above his league there. And so when you get attached to a girl like that, they can talk you into doing some shit you probably wouldn't normally do. That shit's real, I promise. Anyway, so yeah, The Devil's Mountain, that's my favorite story in the book. Like I said, it'll probably stick with me for a while. So this is Dark Lines by Jack Harding, probably 3.5, 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Ripper Country. This has been Well Red Beard. The book was from Dark Lit Press. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I hope you are enjoying all your books. All of them. God damn it, all of them. As much as I am. If not, Thunder Road, the acoustic version. The acoustic version of Thunder Road. I want to say it was on Chimes of Freedom, a little 4-song album, but it's not. That's the acoustic version of Born to Run, which is probably my second. I like the acoustic stuff, and that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, I don't dislike the E Street Band. I love when I saw them live, and they turned Badlands into this 20-minute epic of a song. But what I like about Bruce is him, the guitar, the harmonica, the stripped down songwriting. That's what I love. So I got off track, but it's got a lot of nods to Bruce in here. So Bruce. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying all your books as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.